Welcome to the John Smith Trial of Strength to find the strongest man in Britain. We're here at the brewery Tadcaster in Yorkshire, where 6 men are competing for the title. And with me today is a man who certainly knows all about this event. In fact, he's been the world's strongest man twice, Jeff Capes. Jeff, even this steam engine dwarfs you.
That's right. I remember pulling one of these in Expo Steam in Peterborough, and it takes a strong man to pull them. And in fact, we've got 6 good strong men here today.
Is the competition very strong?
Well, we've run provisional heats all over the country, and in fact the best representative from each area within the country is in fact here today, so I would say it's the 6 best men at the present time.
So there's not a lot of friendly rivalry going on today?
Certainly not, no friendly rivalry. I've had to park 2 or 3 of the competitors, but they're all rearing to go, I can tell you that.
You're not competing, are you? Refereeing?
That's right. I think it needs a strong person to actually referee these sort of people, and I got the job as I'm not competing. Not that I'm not competing again, I'm just having a rest.
Well, let's take a look at our competitors with our commentator, Phil Liggett.
And here they are. Mark Higgins from Solihull is the tallest competitor at 6'9". He weighs 24 stones. Peter Treglone is from Halston in Cornwall. Peter is a mere 23 stones and 6'4". And Paul Lupton from Newton Aycliffe is 18.5 stone. He's a young man described by Capes as an animal. Peter Davis is London's hope and the area's official strongest man, and at 5'8" is the smallest package here. Jamie Reeves, a massive man with a chest measuring almost 5 feet. He's 25 and weighs 21 stones. And last of the 6, George Gormston from Wednesbury is only 21 and the Midland's strongest man.
Event number 1's the overhead lift. Jeff, what do you have to do?
Lift it over your head. Right.
How?
Well, to start with, one, obviously I'm not going to do it, but there's 2 handles in there. They have to hold the handles in there. They have to pick it up to the knees, to the chest, and then overhead. And then I say down, and that is it a good lift or a bad lift? Quite
How
simple.
much does this thing weigh?
Well, on its own, it weighs 200 pounds. It's actually machine made, so it's very well balanced. And then as the weight is increased, the weights are put on the outside. So they actually take an opening weight of whatever, over 200 pounds, obviously. And then each time they nominate a weight, each time their lift is called.
Right, let's get on with it.
And this, in fact, is Peter Davis's 3rd attempt. He's already achieved 244 pounds. This is 255.
Down!
Now he's hold it. Yes, he can. Jeff Cape shouts down. That's a good one. He's in the lead. Now, George Gormston's 3rd attempt. And this is his last try at 255 pounds to stay in touch with Peter Davis.
Come on, George, come on.
A lot of support there for George. No particular rules in the actual lift, but you must lock your arms out to complete it. Now the big push. Steadying himself once more. No, it's over the back. That'll be no lift. Now Cornwall's Peter Treglone steps forward. He's the best in the West. He's attempting here 266 for the outright lead. Davis still best at the moment. Jeff Capes there, saying steady. Feeling this pressure all the way, Jeff Capes.
Down!
And that's a good one. That's the new leader.
Good lift.
Now, the little man Paul Lupton from the northeast. Can he beat the 266? He's attempting here 277 pounds. Not surprising, Jeff Capes refers to him as an animal. He's using his whole body here to swing this chest high, but he's not getting it up. If he can just hook it up there. He's got 90 seconds, by the way, in which to complete this, otherwise it's a fail. No. Oh, wait, maybe not. He's put it down, but he's still got the time to go. He's going to have another go. This looks as though he's taken on too much here. He's coming in at this weight too, which means that a 0 here means no points, or at least last of the 6. Well, no lift at all. It was just too hard. So, having seen Lupton fail, here's Jamie Reeves from Sheffield, the quiet man with the big ambition. He's attempting now again 277. We've just seen Lupton fail. If he pushes this, he's on top, and he's got it up there. The big deep breath, then the push for the top. Watch for the locked out arms. That looks good to me. Oh, and Jeff Capes has called a good lift, I think. Yes.
Good lift.
There we are. That for the lead. Now, the man everybody feels is the big favourite here today. This is Mark Higgins, and he's going for £288 and the lead. It's his third attempt. He's already lifted and untroubled at 266 and 277. You can hear Jeff saying steady.
Down!
Oh, well, easy, he says.
Good lift.
Jamie Reeves has seen that remarkably easy lift then by Higgins. Now he's back to try for 299. £11 added to the barrel. And this, of course, for the lead. Oh. Steady the weight. And it's there.
Down!
And it's there. Jeff Capes shouts down.
Good lift.
So this first event has been a fight between Reeves and Higgins, and it looks as though Reeves is in it. Now Higgins comes back, determined not to be beaten by that magnificent lift by Reeves at 299. And now this is causing a few heads to shake here in the brewery yard. He's attempting £310, the equivalent of 2 people. That's if you're not the size of these chaps. Well, he said it's easy up until now. He's having a fight here. Straighten his belt, tighten up his belt to hold his tummy in. Compose himself again. Massive lift if he pulls this one off. And of course it's for the 6 points to win the event, that's for sure. He's not going to do it. It was easy until now, but not anymore. So here's the result of event 1. 4 more to come, and this is the point system for each of them. 6 points down to 1, and a good start for Jamie Reeves.
Jeff, the second event is the barrel load. You normally use a forklift truck to load these, wouldn't you?
Especially if he was going to lift them 8 at a time, but fortunately the lads have to do it 1 at a time.
Explain exactly what they have to do.
Well, what they've got to do is lift 1 barrel, run towards the lorry, load it onto the lorry, run back and pick up the next barrel 8 times.
This feels pretty heavy. What's inside?
Well, I would say it's a combination of water and sand.
OK, let's get the game underway.
OK, fine.
So to the first 2 competitors, side by side, and the first pair to go are Paul Lupton from the northeast, and he's up against George Gormston from the Midlands, the 2 shortest men in this final.
Competitors ready?
Plenty of support for them both, I think.
Back round. I say you're ready, and I'll just raise my gun, and then it'll go bang, and you start, OK? Don't forget, you must load it, and if you drop it, you pick it up and put it back on. Are you ready? Yep. Yep, they should stop it rolling off, OK? Are you ready, George? Ready, Paul? Are you ready?
So Paul Lupton nears the camera. George Gormston has dropped a barrel already, and that's given an advantage to Lupton. He'll take a lot of encouragement from that. Gormston grabs his second barrel. And you can see now what the disadvantage of the 2 shorter men, the big boys still to come, because of the level of the flatbed of the lorry. They've got to lift it higher, and again they have to flick that. Paul Lupton had to flick that onto the back of the bed. He's now getting almost half a length ahead of Gormston here. Oh, you can feel the weight there, and he came almost to a stop, Paul Lupton, as he tried that one. One more camp to go, and this is going to set a very good marker here, the time of Paul Lupton. He's going to do the best time, that's for sure. Once this barrel hits the back of the lorry, the clock will stop, and there we are, 48 seconds for Paul Lupton, and the last barrel to go on for George Gormston. And that's on as well, but that's 56 seconds for Gormston. A good start for Lupton. So we now come to Peter Davis from London, the 18 stones man from Charlton. He's partnered with Peter Tregloan from Cornwall. And the time to beat is Lupton's 48 seconds.
Ready!
So Tregloan gets away first. Using each other as a marker, but of course the best times get the points. Little Peter Davis scampering about there in the background, but he's not running quick enough to keep up here with Tregloan, and again Davies having the problem of being a small man and having to lift it very high. Back of the 20-year-old Atkinson lorry there receiving some punishment as they throw these big barrels on, and Tregloan is beginning to pull away now. Remember that 48 seconds of Paul Lupton is the time to beat at the minute, and with one barrel to go it looks as though Tregloan is going to do it. It's going to be close, but that's up, and I'm not surprised he's tired. And Davis gets his on as well. He's also better, so he'll take second. But look at the exhaustion on Tregloan. So we go now to Mark Higgins, the last of the pairs to go now, the heavyweights. And this is the other one, Jamie Reeves. And I think this will be quite a contest between the two big men of the competition.
You ready, lads?
Higgins is the one nearest us.
Ready!
Higgins grabbed that can with total off, straight over the back of the lorry. That'll still count. There goes number two, and this is absolutely neck and neck. Both men now lifting their fourth barrel, and they're running almost in parallel. They're mirroring one another here. Now a slight lead for Jamie Reeves. Jamie Reeves takes his third barrel to go, and he's almost walking at one stage here. Higgins using his right knee now to give this barrel a little lift onto the back of the truck. He's tiring quicker. So it looks as though Jamie Reeves, remember the time to beat, 42 seconds up to Tregloan. And look at that, 40 seconds. And in fact, Reeves at 41.8. So that should be good enough to be in the top two for them both.
Jamie, you're out of breath, 2 in a row, and you're motoring well.
Yeah, everything's gone to plan so far. Been psyched up, ready. I just hope it lasts all day.
Have you done a lot of hard work for this event?
Well, I've been training 6 years with a big title in mind. Today's day, so that's all I'm doing, just going for it.
The barrels that you were lifting, is there a lot of technique in it?
There's a lot of momentum, so barrel doesn't swing because they're full of water. If your momentum goes and you just jolt, you can injure yourself, or it can break your momentum, your speed. I don't know, really, just get psyched and go for it.
But where's the strain? Does it come on your back or on your arms?
Your back, your hamstrings. Your hamstrings burn with jolting at barrels coming forward. Your hips. It's just an all-round body tester.
And you've done an awful lot of training for that one. It looks like it's paying off.
Hopefully. I just hope it lasts all day.
So here's the result of event 2, the barrel loading, and on top again is Jamie Reeves from Sheffield, beating Mark Higgins and Peter Tregloan. Overall then, Reeves keeps a maximum scorecard with 12 points, Higgins second with 10 and Tregloan third with 8. Peter Davis has 6 and 3 more events to come.
Well, that's all the action for now, but we'll be back again after the break. Join us then.
See ya.
And welcome back to John Smith's Brewery in Tadcaster. This is Lady Betty. Built in 1902, she once worked here in the yards. And despite the weather, everyone's enjoying seeing the strongest men in Britain. And here's the situation after 2 events. Jamie Reeves has 12 points. Mark Higgins, the pre-trials favourite, second with 10. Now back to Liz.
Well, the competition's hotting up here. We've seen lifting, we've seen carrying, and now we've changed location to see the pulling or the hoist. Jeff, what's the aim of this event?
Well, the object is actually pull 2 sacks of sands 40 feet up in the air by this rope. The competitors start by pulling from this black spot there, and they pull down and they keep going until the flag up there comes down to their hands.
How much does that net weigh?
150 pounds. So it's no mean feat.
And it's a timed event.
It's a timed event. They have 90 seconds to complete the actual pull.
But what if they don't make right to the top so that the flag gets to their hand?
Tough. They don't make it.
There's no way of measuring.
There's a way of measuring by metre tapes all the way along the rope.
Well, let's see if anybody can break Jamie Reeves' lead.
I'm sure they will.
And the first to attempt the pull is Mark Higgins.
Take the rope. Wait. Take the rope to the black mark. Take the strain and let him grab the black mark when he starts, okay? Are you ready, Mark? Take the rope.
So those instructions from Jeff Capes to the stewards behind Mark, who will take up the slack rope.
To the black mark, please, to start.
This big 6'9" man, 22-inch biceps, 33-inch thighs, and he's the heaviest here at 24 stone. Now he's hauling up this bag, weighing 155 pounds. Technique matters a lot in this, and Mark has opted to use both hands to pull on the rope together. And the flag comes closer. This is the time to set the day's marker. When he touches the flag, 21 seconds his time. That's going to take some beating. And the crowd appreciated that. And the next to go then, Paul Lupton. Likeable Teessider. He's just seen Mark Higgins do 21 seconds.
Are you ready?
He too using a similar technique. Everybody here pulling with Paul Lupton as the flag gets closer, and it looks to me as though he's hesitated just a little bit there, but now the flag is coming quicker. He's almost there, reaches out. Look at the time. Well, 21 seconds. Oh, that's so close. He's in second place. Very close indeed, that, but not quite good enough. So we now have Jamie Reeves, winner of 2 events so far, going for his hat-trick. The time of 21 seconds, by the way, given to Lupton was confirmed as 21.7, so he is in second place. This is the big blacksmith welder from Shire Oaks Colliery, and look at this, he's just pulling that sack up there like it doesn't exist. Look at the clock, touches the flag at 12 seconds. Now that really is going to take some beating. I think it's worth looking at that again in slow motion, this great pull of 12 seconds, because it's going to take a lot of beating. Here we are. So Jamie Reeves isn't the heaviest man in the competition. He's a mere 21 stone, but he certainly has the technique. He's locked his left foot against the wood. His tongue is out. Seems to be part of the style with Jamie when he's making an all-out effort. And just look at the way he's eating up this rope. The flag racing towards him, pulling it all the way down. Half the time of everybody else at least, and brilliant. Now what is Peter Treglone thinking? He's just witnessed that fine hoist by Reeves. So the super heavyweight powerlifting champion of Great Britain now preparing to try and pull this 155-pound sack to the top of the hoist faster than anyone else. Concentration.
Okay.
The crowd are enjoying, but Jeff Capes calls him up.
Ready? Take the strain in. Reach to the top. See how he did it?
We certainly did, Jeff.
Ready? Ready?
Now his whole body has taken the weight down here. He's using the same hand-over-hand technique, so he certainly did see how Jamie Reeves did it. He's 12 seconds to beat. It's going up very quickly, but he's gone through 12 seconds. It's still a good one, whichever way you look at it. 15 seconds, the clock stops. Good enough for second place. And he looks at us and says, that's how to do it. So the crowd enjoying quite an exhibition here. And the next man shall be Londoner Peter Davis. There he is, mesmerised by the last two pulls, I would think. A mere 18 stones and standing at 5'8". But even so, as Jeff Capes would verify, that good technique counts for a lot.
Ready? You got hold of it, Peter. Ready!
And everybody pulling with Peter Davis here. He hasn't made the fast start of the other two, and I think his face is now demonstrating to us all how it is to pull that weight up the side of the warehouse. Oh, this one is beginning to hurt. Already the time is outside the top two now, and still going on. Mark Higgins was 21 seconds, that's gone. Paul Lupton's gone now. So Davis at 30 seconds is going to be fifth at the moment. So we only now have one more to come, and this will be George Gormston, and there he is. The time he's got to beat is 12 seconds.
Take the rope, George.
George Gormston weighs 18 stone, 53-inch chest.
Pull it back a bit. Are you ready?
And biceps of 19.5 inches.
Ready? Go!
That's to go, the only man who can cause an upset now. He's also put his full weight behind it and trying to do the overhand. But they haven't got the smooth action of either Jamie Reeves or Peter Treglone, these other competitors. And with 15 seconds gone, he's out of the top two. And he's also, Mark Higgins and Paul Lupton have gone through now, so it looks as though George Gormston is only going to better Davis, and in fact, it looks as though Davis may well have beaten him too, so Gormston is going to be last of the six on the hoist. So a sympathetic cheer there for George.
Jamie, another win notched up on the belt. Was that one strength or tactics?
A lot of technique involved in that. I watched Mark and Paul go and applied appropriate technique, which I thought would be fastest.
What did you learn from them going first?
As Mark pulled all in one. Paul went and pulled hand over hand for a few strokes, and it seemed to come fast. So I thought if Paul can do it, just sit in there and pull it out.
And a familiar scoreboard after 3 events, with Jamie Reeves winning again and getting the 6 points, but Peter Treglone has improved with 5.
We're just over halfway through the competition now. Jamie's got quite a lead, hasn't he, Jeff?
Yes, I think he has, but it's going really probably to his plan. But I would have thought Mark might have come through in the odd event, but it's first and second, I think, all the way. Mark got a third in that, so it should be plain sailing for Jamie. But
the next 2 events are very different, aren't they?
Looking at the other 2 events, one's a really an isometric event where they're holding a sword, and I think it would favour the smaller man, and we've got 2 smaller men in George Gormston and Peter Davis. The long or the tall man has got much longer levers, and I think they would probably have a little bit of difficulty there. But the truck pull, obviously it goes back to the big man again, and this is where Jamie and Mark and that come back into their own. It's, at the moment, a 2-man race. It's a fantastic event in the sense that, as I said before, probably got the top 6 in the country at the moment. And,
are you impressed with the competition?
Yeah, I am really, deep down. It's very touchy for me because I'd like to compete in there with them. And, I'm there judging and refereeing and kind of wishing them on and kind of thinking, well, now what technique would I use in that event, and could I beat them if I used it?
Do you miss the competition?
Yes, I do miss the competition, but the boys are doing very well, and whoever wins will be a good representative for Great Britain in the World Championships.
I'm sure they will. Well, let's take a look at the scores to date.
Thank you, Liz. And Jamie Reeves has a maximum 18 points after 3 events. Higgins is still second, and Peter Treglone is closed up in 3rd place.
We're into the 4th event now, and that's called the Sword Hold. I understand this is a replica of the sword actually used by William Wallace in the Battle of Treglone.
Bannockburn.
Oh, Bannockburn even.
That is correct. But unfortunately, he killed too many Englishmen with it. But as you can see why. It really is a massive sword.
How are the lads going to use it, Jeff?
Well, if you stand over there, Liz, I'll show you. What they're going to do is get the sword with a handle and at arm's length, put it towards my throat and hold it there as long as they possibly can. And then eventually when they drop, which will be like this, the time will cease and then the event will be over.
Your life's on the line with this one, isn't
No,
it?
I trust the boys.
Let battle commence.
Right.
Well, of all 5 competitions today, I think this is the most cruel. Being put to the sword first is Paul Lupton. Between events, by the way, Paul is always recognised by his familiar flat hat, which he seems to have left off.
Are you ready, Paul? Hold it up, please. Up, 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 up. Straighten up, straighten up. Turn around. That's it. Are you ready? Go!
But until now, all the events have been on timings of 90 seconds. And Jeff Capes has been joking, they won't hold this for 90 seconds. The man who holds it the longest is the winner. Point at Jeff Capes' throat. Capes looking right down the blade there. Once the sword drops just enough, Capes will call an end to it, or he'll give an official warning once.
One warning down!
He's decided to give it one official warning. Arms locked straight, back straight, straight legs. Any faltering and the clock will stop.
Stop!
And there we are, 41 seconds, which seems to me to be a very good opening, and Paul Lupton pointing out the sword was beginning to cut into his finger.
Next competitor is Jamie Reeves.
And the voice there of David Webster, promoter of the World Highland Games Heavy Events Championships. And he's just introduced Jamie Reeves. He's our man of the contest so far. He's won 3 of the events, and he's going for his 4th. The time to beat, that of Paul Lupton,
1 foot or 2 foot?
41 seconds.
Are you ready? 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 Go!
And he takes the weight of that 25-pound sword, 6 feet long, concentrating right down the blade of the sword at Jeff Capes' throat. His immediate aim will be 41 seconds, then he'll hang on for as long as possible. You can hear the come on there from his wife, Debbie Reeves. There she is. She follows him all the way because she is a power weightlifter herself, runs her own gym just outside Sheffield. And look at this is looking like the end of Paul Lupton's time. That's gone by. Beginning to shudder a little bit now. As the time goes on, he's approaching the minute. This is magnificent, really. His back's going over though. Yes, I think Jeff Capes has spotted that. Yes, the waving of the arms. 55 seconds. Well, that puts him again back on number 1. More to come, though.
You ready? 2 foot or 1 foot?
So, the 29-year-old Cornishman, Peter Treglone. This is a brand new event to all of these competitors, so Jeff Capes having to explain also the intricacies.
Think about it.
And the problem that seems to be highlighted is the back of the sword handle there is cutting into their hands.
Is that it? Are you ready?
Well, he's tried most things, Peter Treglone. He's been a top-flight rugby player, a British judo champion in 1983, and a contender in the World and European Championships at powerlifting. Block solid at the moment. A master of the art of concentration, this man. Look at that. Looks like a statue. Oh, not so now, though, I'm afraid. It's beginning to hurt as we approach the half minute. Oh, dear me. I'm not surprised Jeff shouted then. He might have got himself ripped in half. And that, in fact, is going to be it. So Peter Treglone is only, I'm afraid, 28.5 seconds. Peter Davis, then, the Charlton man. He's become quite a character here. Always wears his cap turned round back to front.
Peter, get your grip first. You get your grip first. Take the weight, Stevie. Is that going to be your grip?
This is Peter Davis from Charlton in London.
Come down a bit, Pete. Right, are you ready? Ready?
So Peter Davis,
go!
just 5'8", he's having to reach a little bit to point it at Jeff Capes' throat.
Down a bit, Pete, if you want.
And Jeff saying he can lower it a little bit if he wishes. It really hasn't been such a fair competition for the smaller strongman here. Most of them have favoured the taller man.
20.
And the crowd absolutely enthralled with this, just watching. One or two of them tried to pick this sword up before the competition began, and they really couldn't hold it for more than 5 seconds. And I think that puts it into perspective. Shout for another 10 seconds, he said. But there we are, that's it. Pete Davison, 40.4. Even so, a very good time. So to George Gormston. Loosening off those massive shoulders.
Keep going.
30.5-inch thighs, 19.5-inch biceps. The biceps, I suspect, will be the most important for this
Up
one.
a bit, George, if you want.
Nobody
Up a bit,
approaching
George.
that fine
If you
time
want.
of 55 seconds from Jamie Reeves.
Are you ready, George? Ready? Go! Up. Yep.
Come on, George, keep it up there.
A little bit of a slip at the start, but he's locked on now.
Keep it up there, Peter.
Doesn't the second seem a long time when you're gripping a 6-foot sword weighing 25 pounds? It's not for lack of support here. George Gormston, one of the most popular competitors. Kate's just standing there waiting for the movement that will end the hold. Oh, look at this now, the shakes are on. That's it, he can't do it anymore, but even so, George Gormston, 36.5 seconds, and we still have one more to come.
Mark Higgins.
And here he is, Mark Higgins. He really is quite disappointed so far. He's finished second on the 3 events that have gone by, and a win now would do his morale good.
You ready? Tell me when you're ready. Ready? Go!
So, the 25-year-old from Solihull, chosen a different stance to everybody else. And there's Jamie Reeves in the background. And it looks as though he said, "Come on, Mark," too. That's a standard of the sportsmanship amongst the strongmen here today.
20.
Mark also an all-round athlete, represented Britain in Australia in the America's Cup, and he's also played top-flight basketball and athletics.
30.
The arms are beginning to shake now, and he's still 20 seconds to go to match up with Jamie Reeves. Oh, the determination here as he hangs on to every second.
Stop!
No, he's not going to do it, so this is going to be another great victory for Jamie Reeves. Mark Higgins goes away and doesn't look too happy. And here's confirmation of the sword hold and Jamie on top again. Higgins gets 5 and Paul Lupton will be delighted with 3rd place and 4 points. Overall, no one can catch Reeves, who so far is proving unbeatable. There's still one event left, and this will decide the much closer battle for the runner-up spot.
Well, the last competition, the truck pull, coming up straight after the break. Don't go away. Jeff, we've reached the crescendo of the competition with the final event, the truck pull. It's the one that everybody always remembers, I suppose, with the strongman competitions. Is it the most difficult?
Well, I wouldn't say the most difficult, probably the best kind of visual event, because we've got a 7.5 ton lorry pulled over a 25-metre course as fast as possible. It's always probably the best light of all the strongman events, because it's probably over the quickest. It takes something in the region between 20 and 30 seconds to actually complete the course of 25 metres, pulling 7.5 ton truck.
And what's the technique with it?
The technique is obviously to pull it as fast as you can, but there'll be variations of technique from the starting block all the way through. Obviously the ones who've actually taken part in the truck pull before and obviously seen other athletes doing the event will probably have their own ideas of how to go quicker than the other competitors. And the unfortunate ones are always the ones that go first.
Well, let's get the wagons underway then.
Yep, we're ready.
And the first to go is the new champion-elect, Jamie Reeves. All the pressure's off him now, but I'm sure he'll want a good finish to the competition and perhaps even make it 5 in a row. And the 20-year-old Atkinson lorry brought round from the barrel loading yard.
Get position!
And harnessed up with Jamie. The crowd enjoying
Forward
this now, the sun coming through a little bit from the early morning rain. And they're being treated to this very unusual sight here outside the John Smith Brewery. And they're urging Jamie now all the way. This may not look it, but in fact the first 20 metres is very slightly uphill. And I know that Paul Lupton is watching this with great interest, because Jamie said he can borrow his shoes after he's finished the pull, providing they don't slip, of course, on the way up now. And just look at this. Now he's over the hump. A never so slight hump, but when you're pulling a lorry, it makes a difference. And the lorry starts to move a little bit easier. And he reaches out for the line, falls, finger touches all you need. 35 seconds, that's the time to beat, and Jamie could win again. So the next man to haul the lorry across the front of the brewery is Peter Treglone. His time to beat, Jamie Reeves, is 35 seconds. He's third overall in the competition. He's quite within reach of the man who's lying second, Mark Higgins.
Whoa! Stop!
Jeff Capes there, leaning on the lorry to make sure it doesn't start until he fires the gun. Whole body weight forward, get the lorry moving. And these initial few meters are really most difficult. Tremendous effort there. There you can see our camera team, but our men have a little bit easier job pushing the camera along the railway tracks. It's good, it's going to be very close, is this? 35 seconds, he's going to be very, very close. He can see the line, if he can reach out. Can he? Yes, he can. That is going to be the best time of the day. So he's going to be the first man to beat Jamie Reeves, 32.69. Well, that was absolutely tremendous. Now, can Peter Davis go one better? So Peter Treglone, who won the title Best in the West, to come up here to compete in the final. Now Peter Davis is going to have a go, and his target now for the first time today is not Jamie Reeves, but the time of Peter Treglone, 32.69 seconds. Well, he hasn't got a lot of momentum at the moment, and as I say, it's uphill for this first 10 or 12 metres. He's also swinging away to the right, and it looks to me as though he's having trouble gripping, because he's walked right into the drying surface there, and he's come to a complete standstill. If he can't pick this up again, and he's almost on the apex of the hill, he can't do it. He shakes his head, which means that David Webster on the left there and Jeff Capes are going to measure the distance pulled. Out come the tapes as a disappointed Peter Davis walks off. Jeff Capes checks it. Now what is it?
11:15.
11 metres, 15 centimetres is the distance that will be recorded. So 11 metres, 15 centimetres.
How's that?
Now we have George Gormston.
Okay.
It almost looks as though he's starting in the 100-metre sprint there. Body weight into the harness to get the truck rolling. And he too is having problems on this uphill gradient. and he's swinging over to the right as well. He'll need more momentum than this. He's lost it now. The lorry is only just moving, and he's going over to the damper. In fact, the lorry is now pulling him back. All the body into the harness to try and get some momentum back into it. And the lorry is completely stubborn. It is not going to go. Clock counts on. Look at that. Not going to be taken anywhere at all. And I think George is saying that's it. He needs to reach out if he wants a distance. Can he reach, in fact, the distance marker of Peter Davies? And yes, he can. Well, that makes it easy for David Webster. That'll be the same. So the last two have not recorded the time. Both been given 11 metres, 15 centimetres. Now Mark Higgins.
Back an inch.
Back an inch, said Jeff Capes.
Ready?
An inch could make the difference. The time to beat 32.69 of Peter Treglone. Mark Higgins, we all thought he was coming here to lift the title. He's yet to win an event. And now he has the momentum. If he can keep this wonderful rhythm up, he'll be over the top of that hill, and then the lorry will almost go with him. He's just passed the marker on the floor there of the previous two who didn't score. Now you can see the pressure as they come towards the top of this little rise. Now he's over the top of it. Now it's all clear sailing. He's got to reach out. Look at the clock. Remember, 32.69 is what he's got to beat. He reaches out. 32. You can't see it. I can. 32.5. He's got it by 19/100ths of a second.
Don't worry about it now.
That was tremendous. So here we have Paul Lupton.
Okay, get on your block.
Now Paul Lupton in fact had a nosebleed before he came out here.
Lean against it, son.
And Jeff Capes here living every minute of this competition with the strongmen.
Back a bit.
Well, this is a turn-up. Reeves now back in third place.
Okay, when you're ready.
Lupton, by the way, practices over 55
Really
metres.
explode out that block.
And he pulls around an equestrian centre at Bishop Auckland.
Yeah.
So it'll seem like a little sprint to him today, over a mere 25, I would
On
think.
the drive. Okay, you ready? Ready! Set! Go!
Oh, if his weight goes into that, the lorry's on its way. He's wearing, by the way, the shoes of Jamie Reeves, but they are slipping, I have to say that. He's not getting the grip he would like. His favourite pastime, by the way, is picking up his father's tractor by the back wheels. And this is going to be disappointing for Paul. He's looking for even a hole in the concrete there to dig his toe into. But the lorry is hardly moving, but it hasn't stopped. But he's not going to get the time that matters. It's already too late. He's not going to stop either. Just about turning that lorry, and he still has all the encouragement from the northeast. And he's over the hump. Now he'll get a little bit of momentum. He's going to get a time anyway. It'll be the fourth of the four who have actually made the line, but he's going to finish. Very, very popular man indeed. Crowd loving it, out with the fingertips. So there we are, 68 seconds, and Paul Lupton, 4 out of the 6. And a new look to the scoreboard in this final event. The pole, Mark Higgins on top with 6 points. Peter Treglone 5, Jamie Reeves only third with 4.
Mark, magnificent performance. Somebody at last has broken Jamie Reeves' winning run.
Yeah, I thought it was never going to come. He was a bit good today.
There was just 0.2 of a second in the victory between yourself and, of course, Treglone. Did you know it was that close?
I had an idea. I thought I'd lost it because I slipped a bit in the middle, but with the extra body weight, I just managed to pull through.
You came here today as one of the hot favourites, didn't you, to win the overall title? Have you been disappointed or pleased with your performance?
I'm not disappointed with my own performance, but Jamie did better, so he deserves to win. I'm the most experienced, so that put the most pressure on me. And I think I lost when Jamie beat me in the barrel loading, because that was sort of my banker along with this one. And I expected Jamie to win the log lift and the crucifix, which would have left it all on the hoist, but he won that anyway, so I've no complaints.
In third place, Peter Treglone of Halson, Cornwall.
And so Peter Treglone, a third throughout the competition, takes third place from Colin Lund here, the sales director.
In second
John
place,
Smith's Breweries.
Mark Higgins of Solihull.
And the Midlander, Mark Higgins, he gets the second spot. A little bit disappointed, I think, but a great sportsman.
And the winner of John Smith's Strong Ale Trial of Strength for 1988 is Jamie Reeves of Sheffield.
I'm not surprised he's smiling either. He gets a year's supply of beer. Lady Betty in the background. Well, she certainly has never seen it all before, even though she was built in 1902.
And our thanks to Mr. Colin Lund.
So, an outstanding man in Jamie Reeves from Sheffield. He came after 6 years of training to take the trophy he wanted most. And there's no doubt about the strongest man, who now goes on to the world final in Budapest. Jamie Reeves wins with 28 points, Mark Higgins second with 25, Treglone third, Lupton fourth, then came Davis and Gormston. Now here's Liz.
Jamie, a magnificent victory with 4 clean wins out of 5. Was that your best victory ever?
Yeah, I trained very hard for this, like I said, and it's my best victory, yeah.
You must be absolutely delighted.
Well pleased, it's been great.
Wife Debbie, what's it like to keep a man like Jamie in peak condition?
Very busy, actually. I do have to do a lot of cooking. He's always hungry, but mostly it's training. We train together. We've got his own gym, which has got all heavy-duty tackling, what we can train with, and at weekends we're out running, whatever. I'm using piggyback for barrel loading, things like that, you know. So training, really. We train together. We've got that in common, you know, and that's it, really.
Good team.
Has it altered your life?
Yes.
In what way?
It's just hectic, isn't it? It's hectic. He's very good, though. I'm very proud of him. He's done ever so well, but I never doubted it for a minute.
He's been working for this for 5 years, hasn't he? He must have been pretty difficult to live with at times.
Yes. But there again, we're training myself, competing myself. We both know what each other's going through, what it's like. Are you tense, irritable, nervous, apprehensive, whatever? So we can, we know what each other's feeling, and we get at it way.
Jamie, this win has actually won you your place in the World Championships. You must be absolutely delighted with that.
Well pleased. It's a dream come true for me winning this. It's what I've trained for. It'll take a few days to sink in, but when I go to Worlds, I'll be in peak condition and ready and pull my gut out.
The big question, do you think you can win?
I'll just go in with the same attitude as today, do my best, and that's all.
Do your best for Britain.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Well, that's the end of the event as such, but now we've got a very special challenge which perhaps organiser Dave Webster can tell us about. Dave?
Yes, Liz. About 250 years ago in London, there lived an old-time strongman called Thomas Topham. And to celebrate a great naval victory, they had a gala celebration in South London. And he offered to create a world record. He lifted 3 beer barrels, just as we have here, in the same position. And they weighed in total 1,841 pounds, the weight of a small car. And at that time, he lifted them clean off the ground, a feat that had never been done before that, and quite honestly has never been equalled since. Because although many people have done similar things, they've used a different type of rigging from what Thomas Topham did. This is an absolutely genuine lift. It's a tremendous feat of strength if anybody can achieve this. It stood for 250 years, and we're hoping that these men here today, who are amongst the strongest men in Britain, and some of them the strongest men in the world, we hope that some of them will equal this lift, which has stood for so long.
And the first to try the Topham Challenge of 1741 is George Gormston. Clarification being asked for.
Yes, it's moving, but not high enough.
And Jeff Cape's saying, yes, it's moving, but there's no daylight being seen through there yet. Jeff, by the way, is down on the grass, trying to sight underneath the barrels. If he sees daylight, it'll be given as a lift.
Yeah, it's Birmingham.
And there he is.
What, put him in it?
David Webster saying 15 seconds, one more attempt. This little lot, by the way, weighing 1,844 pounds. And again the rocking, but George has said enough is enough. He's is not going to be lifted, so the record remains intact. So Gormston gives up, and I think we're going to see Paul Lupton up next. There he is.
What's on?
The strong man from Newton Aycliffe.
I won't be watching telly then.
He loves a challenge. You see all the planks under his feet there because they've had problems with the harness stretching under the weight. So they've jacked the lifters up. And it's moving. Oh, we can feel the pain here.
Very close, very close.
Very close, says Jeff.
Hey, you're so very close, mate.
One more try. This is 1844 pounds. And the record standing since 1741. Capes is watching for daylight. Yes! They're beginning to swing. That's it. That is it. He's done it. Tremendous a cheer for him, Paul Lupton. So Lupton is going to go home to Newton Aycliffe with the record for the moment at least. Now there's more weights going on. And this can only mean one thing, and that is the man standing on top of the harness, there he is Jamie Reeves. So Reeves has increased the weight by 7.5 kilograms. This makes a massive 1,865 pounds. He's taking the strain. The crowd are urging him on. There was some movement there, but not enough. They've taken some of the planking away. There we are. He's only standing on 2 planks for the height. Capes calls a lift, and I wonder if this will stand for 250 years. What a day for Jamie Reeves.
We're now at the end of a very competitive day with trialist strength. It's been very exciting, hasn't it, Jeff?
It's been fantastic. 110% from every athlete. And obviously my good wishes go along with Jamie Reeves in the World Championships later on in the year.
Everybody's good wishes go with Jamie, and from us all here at Tadcaster, goodbye.
Goodbye.